Hello and what is up people, my name is Criddle and I am here today to talk to you about the Wano arc, specifically Act 3, and as such there will be spoilers for people who are not up to date with the manga. You have been warned, so let's get to it. So as we draw to the close of Wano, CP-0 has finally started to move, with their targets being to eliminate Who's Who and the other goal being to capture Robin, which is definitely not something we want to happen in the series. And honestly, a second Rescue Robin from Cypher Pole arc in the series? Yeah, let's not. With that in mind, and with there being 3 members of CP-0 in place, we need to think about who they're going to fight. I think it's perfectly reasonable to assume that the 3 members of CP-0 in Wano can fight, given that we know Lucci and Kaku are both members of the group, and I really can't imagine that the Cypher Pole agency that is even more secret than the secret group is not strong, especially with them being super direct reports to the Celestial Dragons. Yeah, it would be weird if they weren't tough. So far, we have absolutely no idea about the capabilities of this group, but let's have a look at who the potential combatants against these 3 will be. I think we can consider Cypher Pole's target being Robin to mean that the only people fighting them are going to be people who we already know and who have feats to back themselves up. This will include the Straw Hats, the immediate allies in the Kid and Heart Pirates, as well as the Scabbards. For the sake of argument, I think it's fair to remove characters like Heat and Beppo from this list and just not include them because the characters have never been considered important enough to warrant a dedicated fight. It goes without saying that we can remove anyone who is currently engaged in a fight in the raid from taking on CP-0, so we can take out Luffy, who is facing Kaido, Zoro and Sanji, who are fighting King and Queen respectively, Kid and Law, who are fighting Big Mom, Raizo, who is fighting Fukurokuju, and Drake, who is currently fighting Apu, apparently after like 4,000 chapters. From there, I think it is safe to also remove anyone who is considered to be either dead or near dead. So with that, Kin, Kiku, and Ajura Doji are removed. Also, Shinobu and Karibo will also be out because neither of them are currently on Onigashima. In addition, I think it's also extremely fair to remove anyone who has had a major fight in this arc. So Robin, Frankie, Jinbei, Inuarashi, Nekomamushi, and Killer are also out. To further eliminate people, I will also discount anyone who has done something impressive or awesome during this arc, which would allow them to have downtime. This would include Chopper slapping Queen, creating the antidote to the Ice Oni, and for the fact he's already used his monster point in this arc. I will also be taking Marco out because he removed the Big Mom Pirates from the playing field and held back Queen and King until Zoro and Sanji were good to go. From here, it does get a little bit dicey because Nami is a tentative removal because she did land the final hit on Ulti and will ultimately be credited with her defeat. I will also be removing most of the Minks, including Carrot, because I think that they have done enough this arc. And Carrot and Wanda's defeat at the hands of Perospero will also allow her to pass from the fighting, though a redemption of her would 100% solidify her as a member of the Straw Hats. So this is probably going to be the most polarizing person on this list. And speaking of potential Straw Hats, Yamato is also out, as she is already on another mission to save Wano, and she held back Kaido for a while. So she is definitely A-okay in my book. So the people that remain as options are Izo, Denjiro, Kawamatsu, Brook, Usopp, and maybe Nami or Carrot. Potentially. Brook is physically with Robin at the moment, so I think Brook is the safest bet for someone to fight as a member of CP-0. In addition, I also think it is absolutely vital for Usopp to do something this arc. Plus, on top of that, Brook and Usopp are the only 2 members of the Straw Hats to have not taken out a named CP agent, as every other member of the crew has taken out at least 1 member of a Cypher Pole, with Frankie and Luffy taking out 2 members of CP9, and Sanji taking out a member of CP9, then Wanze from CP7, and Jerry from CP6. So who are the final fights going to be? Well, I think this will either be a Straw Hat victory here, but there is one other factor to consider. The person who looked after the Scabbards for a while. The silhouette is either Toki or Hiyori, probably not NL, And honestly, I do think it is the former. But if it is the latter, I will put forward the theory that Hiyori is captured by CP-0 as part of an effort to use her to either trade for Robin or give them a piece to potentially shift the tide with the war. I'm not really sure. But if Hiyori is brought into play, the two scabbards who are closest to her and have the strongest bond are Kawamatsu and Denjiro. So that situation would make for the best circumstance for them to fight CP-0. Though, personally, I think Orochi will somehow get a hold of Hiyori. He knows she is alive thanks to Kanjuro, and thus Denjiro gets to finish off Orochi for good, which I think is a very fitting end to Orochi. As for our final option, I actually have no idea where Izo fits into anything. Izo hasn't done anything spectacular during the raid, so I guess there's a chance to show off what the former commander of the 16th Division can do. Alright, so that means that I pick Brook and Usopp for guaranteed fights against CP-0 with a varying third person based on where Oda plans to take the story. Carrot if she's becoming a Straw Hat, Nami in an effort to show off more of what Zeus can do, Izzo so that he does something this arc, and Kawamatsu or Denjiro if the other one gets to finish off Orochi. What do you think? Do you think there are other players who could take down CP-0? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe because I will be doing a lot of hopefully similar content in the future. But until next time, I'm Criddle, and I'll catch you on the flip side.